Come on. Yeah, get it. 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 Get it. Come on. Yeah, move out the way. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah. What you got? Yeah, what you got? Yeah, what you got? Yeah, what you got?
It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch. Yeah. And what I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford. A Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab the opportunity.
Famed Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. has officially agreed to help Crawford prepare for the fight. Jones, who knows the pressures of high-level boxing, made it clear what he expects from Crawford. Not just movement, but pressure. Jones isn't interested in weight, debates, media antics, or ceremonial digs at reporters. His sole focus is on skill, speed, hunger, and mindset.
Dude, Terence Crawford beats Canelo.
He cooked Canelo.
Woo! Really?
He beats him. Yes. Look, if you go back and you watch the fight with Lara, and you can see the same tendencies that Canelo has now, but he's a lot older now. But I just think that Terence has more skills than a Lara, and I think he can do more. And you're saying that, oh, Canelo is a super strong guy. Man, technique, you already know. If you ever wrestled before, the person that got better technique usually win. It don't matter how much the weight they have or what they're carrying around. It's the technique. Crawford knows how to take care of himself.
I don't pay attention to the pushing and shoving, Roy told Fight Hub TV. I don't care about weight. I focus on skill, what both fighters bring in and out of the ring. That's the focus he's bringing to camp. Cut the noise and concentrate on what wins fights. Jones expanded on Crawford's current mindset, stating this is the most dangerous version of him yet. Crawford is hungry. He's waited a long time for this mega fight. Now that the opportunity is here, he's ready to seize it. Jones noted that Crawford is sparring with bigger guys at an intensity he described as incredible.
Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it's gonna be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that works in weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. He get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit.
Jones also shared his thoughts on Canelo, offering respect, but with a different tone. Canelo's not necessarily hungry, but he enjoys entertaining and putting on big fights. He doesn't always win, but he always tries to deliver. Jones noted that if Canelo does everything right in a ring, he can win. But there's a difference between a man chasing greatness and one trying to preserve it.
Favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I've heard that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you...
According to Jones, the deciding factor won't be strength or skill, but Crawford's ability to absorb punishment. When you're as skilled as Terence Crawford, weight doesn't matter much. What matters is whether you can take a shot. That's the central question in this matchup. Can Crawford, who's never fought at 168 pounds, take a clean shot from Canelo Alvarez?
Does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he was on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can.
A similar view was echoed by Con Davis, one of the few boxers to have worked with both men. Davis sparred with Crawford for the Sean Porter fight and has trained with Canelo. I've worked with both, he told YSM Sports Media. Crawford has the talent, but Canelo's size makes this a difficult assignment. It's not just about size, Canelo's also skilled. If I had to bet, I'd go with Canelo. Even though Crawford is a great fighter,
has the better skills? You feel me? Who has more power? Who has more endurance? These are the things that we gotta take into consideration. These are the things that we have to know. Now, I'm thinking, Bud is on another level when we're talking about skill set. Now, we know Canelo is kind of...
Davis voiced a sentiment shared by many in the boxing world, albeit more directly. This isn't about Crawford being out of place. It's about whether his body can handle the deliberate punishment of a fighter who's dismantled natural super middleweights. Davis added, they're both excellent boxers, but one has the advantage in body type and size. That could decide the fight. Canelo's last bout was frustrating. His opponent, William Skull, prioritized survival, circling, poking, and disengaging, forcing Canelo to chase in a fight that felt more like tag than boxing.
Like this fight to end? I need it play by play. How would you like this fight to end? And after your answers, I need you to answer. How would you like this fight to end?
Well, I won't say like to. It will end with my hand rose, making history.
I like that answer, but talk some shit, bud.
Listen.
Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's longtime trainer, doesn't believe Crawford will fight the same way. Reynoso told Boxing Scene, Crawford is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. Of course, he has a plan. We're going to train hard because we know the kind of fighter he is, and we're going to beat him. Reynoso didn't mince words. We're going to knock him out. No question. I promise. That's the mindset of Canelo's camp. They respect Crawford's skill and pedigree, but they see a smaller man stepping into the lion's den, and they intend to handle him accordingly. Canelo has 39 career knockouts. Though he hasn't stopped an opponent since Caleb Plant in 2021, his power hasn't diminished. He still breaks ribs with body shots and drops opponents with left hooks. He just hasn't found the right target lately.
Is the biggest fight of the decade. I mean, to a purist and a fighter, it's laughable. Because you have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight. Crawford, who couldn't push back Madrimov. Life and death with Madrimov. What do you think Canelo's gonna do to him? Run him out of the ring!
Crawford, on the other hand, has looked virtually unbeatable. His performance against Errol Spence was clinical and brutal. Crawford controlled the fight from start to finish, but Spence is not Canelo. The punches will be heavier, and the body mass behind them will be different. That's why this entire conflict seems to revolve around one point. Crawford's ability to land or frustrate is less important than his ability to endure the exchanges long enough to build a lead or force a stoppage. Meanwhile, Canelo is talking more openly about retirement. He told the media he plans to retire at the age of 37. He's 34 now, which gives him about 3 years left in the sport. That kind of clarity is rare in a profession where most fighters struggle to walk away. Canelo says he continues fighting for the love of boxing. He has the money. He has the legacy. He has the trophies. The only thing left is delight.
Think of Canelo over the weekend. Did that look like the same type of Canelo you fought a few years ago? And yeah, what'd you think of that?
No, I don't think it's the same Canelo. Not quite, but also I kind of figured it was going to be like that, honestly. I heard Canelo say in the interview, like, I don't really like fighting guys who move around that much like that. And William Skull being a Cuban fighter, like, I knew he was going to do that. And so was curious to see, how Canelo would handle that. And, he kept the ring off well, but that guy I felt like he didn't really want no part. And
however, when facing someone like Crawford, delight is not always enough. When a man is still trying to prove himself or reach the top, he brings a different energy, silent, obsessive, unrelenting. Canelo has already beaten legends like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, and Daniel Jacobs. He's sold out arenas and dominated pay-per-view. Crawford is just now stepping into that spotlight. There's a belief in boxing that when a fighter begins speaking about retirement, their mind starts drifting away from violence. Their instincts soften. Their reaction time slows. They're hunger flickers. No one is saying Canelo is fading, but for Crawford, that small mental gap could be the edge he needs. Crawford won't just participate, he intends to rule. He won't throw half-speed punches. He'll take risks, because that's the only way to win a battle like this.
Canelo, who you got? Crawford, Canelo? I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yeah.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should try it, test the waters, even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog, he's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out who that day comes.
Manny Pacquiao
did not need to choose
a spark drama. His comments were calm, grounded, and spoken from the experience of someone who has shared the ring with Floyd Mayweather and generations of world-class fighters. So when Canelo Alvarez stood at the podium and said, "I think Crawford is a little better than Mayweather," the boxing world turned its head.
That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
I asked this because you did it with Margarito. You went to 54, and people were like, "Oh my God, this guy's so big, Margarito!" But your speed made the difference in that fight. Well, what advice would you give a smaller guy like Crawford to fight someone like Canelo, who's a lot bigger?
It wasn't a loud statement, but it was heavy. Pacquiao knew it. Canelo knew it. Everyone did. Canelo wasn't trying to insult Mayweather. In fact, he finished his sentence by saying he now has more experience than both Mayweather and Crawford. But he knew exactly what he was doing by placing Crawford ahead of Floyd. It wasn't just a compliment. It was a calculated mental play, a seed planted months ahead of one of the biggest fights in recent memory.
You're like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts.
Pacquiao answered carefully. He didn't criticize Canelo, but he did warn everyone that Crawford and Mayweather are not interchangeable. "It's a particular style, you understand," he said. "I mean, they're both great fighters, so it's tough to compare yourself to them." Pacquiao addressed professional fight fans with that single line and summed up everything. Crawford isn't Floyd. Floyd was evasive, intellectual, and risk-averse. Crawford, on the other hand, is willing to embrace chaos when necessary. He switches stances. He brawls. He breaks opponents down not just by slipping punches, but by delivering sharper, damaging ones. Pacquiao has never been a loudmouth in the media, but his subtle distinction between styles was a quiet way of saying, let's not get carried away. That didn't stop the comparisons, though. Roberto Duran, another all-time great, offered his take. Duran is no stranger to high-risk battles, having faced legends like Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. He understands what it takes to win as the smaller man. When asked about Crawford's chances against Canelo, Duran went straight to the strategy. It's a tough fight, but it depends on how he comes in. He needs to box and fight. Keep confusing Canelo. When Canelo expects a fight, box him. When he expects boxing, fight him. Keep him guessing and you'll win. That's not advice from a suit-wearing coach. It's wisdom from a warrior who made a career out of chaos and unpredictability. Duran acknowledged the size gap, but also saw the opening. Mental confusion. Crawford can win, but not by trying to be Floyd. If he tries that, he fails.
What do you think of Crawford Canelo? There's a lot of talk about that.
I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition. It's an interesting fight, but I think there's only one winner. What fight would make the most?
Tyson Fury, speaking from Istanbul, offered perhaps the most practical perspective. "It's an amazing fight," he said. Then, in typical Fury fashion, he broke it down simply and without fluff. At 168, I'd say Canelo. At 140, I'd say Crawford. So, I'm going with Canelo. That was it. No theatrics, no metaphors. Just straight logic. Fury's opinion mirrors what most of the boxing world has echoed since the match was announced. Crawford is a genius, but 168 pounds is a long way from 140. Size matters. Not always, but when it's paired with power, skill, and composure, it can tip the scale. Crawford doesn't seem fazed by any of this. He approached the first press conference with pure intensity. His forehead pressed into Canelo's, unblinking, his jaw tightened. He wasn't playing. He wasn't talking trash. He was making a statement. Canelo answered with force, shoving Crawford away with the same scorn he reserved for Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders before dismantling them. The press conference didn't need fireworks. The body language said it all. Crawford wasn't there to pay homage. He was there to claim something. Canelo wasn't there to entertain. He was there to destroy. This is a once-in-a-lifetime fight. Even UFC President Dana White couldn't contain his excitement. And for once, that term doesn't sound like marketing bluster. White promised no network splits, no schedule politics, and massive six-figure bonuses, especially for knockouts. This isn't just another boxing event. Add in Max Kellerman's return to analysis, and you get a sense of how seismic this night is. Who's the world's best pound-for-pound boxer? Kellerman asked. Crawford held that title before Inoue. Canelo held it before him. These are the last two pound-for-pound kings. And now, they'll meet in Las Vegas. This could be the most watched prize fight in 50 years. Whether or not that prediction comes true, the sentiment is widely shared. This isn't just a title bout, it's a defining moment in boxing history.
Build up, is there a battle before the battle in the ring? Is there anything to that?
No, I think it's a little bit of maybe a bit of showmanship. They're trying to sell the fight. Because at the same time, there was a photo of them all having dinner together, which I found a bit strange, you know, like they're going from dinner to...
Which brings us back to Crawford himself. In every appearance, he has stayed consistent. No softening, no diplomacy, no backing down. I'm looking for all he has, and I want to take it on September 13th, he said, and those words didn't sound hollow. Crawford has always fought with a chip on his shoulder. Now, standing on the brink of becoming the first three-division undisputed champion in history, his hunger has only grown stronger. I respect Canelo, but when the time comes, it's time to get to work.
Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically.
Canelo, for his part, has remained composed. It will be one of the most important victories of my career, he said. He hasn't called Crawford small or overmatched. He's praised him as a tremendous boxer. But in the same breath, he's reminded everyone stepping into the ring with him is different. It's not about your Zoom. It's about truth. We are professionals, but when he walks into the ring, it's going to be different. Crawford responded to that directly. I tell you, I'll be the only thing running through his mind. He's got a big head too, so yeah. Even fans seem torn. Crawford is so good, man. I don't know. I'm not sure who I'm siding with. He's so skilled, but Canelo's size I just can't pick. I have so much respect for both of them. This fight is about more than legacy. It's about identity. Canelo, the proud Mexican powerhouse, wants to cement his dominance one final time before retirement becomes reality. Crawford, the relentless technician from Omaha, wants to be remembered as the greatest of his era. One of them will lose. One dared to dream. The other will walk away with history. Who do you think will win? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe.